Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your co-host, the Balanced Blue RJ, joined by my fellow co-host, legendary mates, Scott the Gooner, Rob the Red Devil. Rob, how you going, my man?
Good to be here, boys. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm a bit of the referee tonight. I know there's a big London derby incoming this weekend, and I'm actually looking forward to it as a neutral to watch this one. So it should be fireworks tonight.
Cards all over the place. Scott, hopefully we won't get too many red cards. You're looking a little bit red, mate. How you feeling?
Mate, I'm roasted. Been out in the sun all day, not as sun smart as I should have been. I'm paying for it now, mate. So I get the idiot award for the day. But you know what? Hopefully Chelsea get that award on the weekend when we play. I can't wait to unpack that. How are you, boss?
You know what? We'll get the idiot award if we get Anthony Taylor as the ref and we think we're going to get some fair officiating. Then we'll definitely get the idiot award.
Here we go.
But hey, let's not get into all of that because the important thing is there were some big matches in the Champions League. I'm obviously doing very well as a result of the Champions League, but there's also the huge clashes in the Premier League, notwithstanding the Arsenal-Chelsea game. You've also got Liverpool versus Tottenham. That's going to be a crunch clash despite how bad Liverpool are going. And let's not also sleep under a couple of these games. For example, Fulham, Manchester City. I think low-key it's going to be a very interesting game from my point of view. But we're going to get into all of that. Scott, I believe we've got a bit of a lineup happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Just acknowledge some of the champions in the chat before we kick off. Evening to Big Wanderers and Distance Plays. We've got Shano here. We love Shano. Justin's here. Lexax here. We got Tom celebrating that Europe's elite comp is coming back again. Can't wait. Marty Mariner is in here. Make sure you check his channel out. Always doing good stuff. George, who I hear is living it up overseas at the moment, mate. Hopefully,
George, good luck over there, mate. Good luck, George.
Yeah. Hopefully, more sun smart than me, mate, in that Greek sun. El Chapo is in the chat. We got Emad here. The concierge declared. A couple of Chelsea boys ahead of this one, but boy, let's not dawdle. We had some absolutely entertaining football come our way, courtesy of the Champions League over the last few days. We saw a lot of the groups wrap up. We saw Group H wrap up, Juventus coming down to the Europa League, Benfica topping the group.
Massive
win.
What a finish at the end of that, mate. Crazy finish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely huge. Looking at Group G, City top. We all guessed that. Dortmund in second place. Poor Celtic, not great. Not great for them going bottom. Obviously, RJ, you'd be a happy man. Chelsea, top of the group. AC Milan second. You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Considering why I'm happy is we should have finished the top of the group, but we lost our first game to Zagreb. We drew the next game against Salzburg. So then we've done the clean sweep ever since. So from a Champions League point of view, it's looking pretty good at the moment.
And as you flick through some of the others as well, then you had Napoli topping the group over Liverpool, equal on points, but still enough for Napoli. Porto top of the group, Bruges second, Bayer Leverkusen third, and Atletico Madrid. That's, for me, we talk about teams who have flopped. That's really disappointing. Very disappointing. Robbie, did that shock you?
Shocked that they got bottom of the group. I'm just glad they avoided dropping down to Europa League, mate. They're a little bit like one of those teams that they'll drop out of the Champions League and then like to go on and win the Europa League, one of their favorite tournaments. So yeah, look, I just can't stand Atletico or Diego Simeone. So I'm glad
they're like that annoying dog that stays on your leg that you can't quite shake off.
100%.
You know,
100%.
So it's good they fell to the bottom.
Obviously, Bayern Munich, Inter, Barcelona coming down to, mate, this is going to be one of the years where I think the latter stages, when we get to the semis of the Europa and then put them side by side with the semis of the Champions League, I think you're just going to have really high quality clashes all throughout if things play out. And then, of course, we can't not acknowledge this. Marty Mariner's here, but he's also Marty the Spur. Tottenham Hotspur going from not going through to top of their group. This was an entertaining group. Tottenham, again, sticking in a game, coming through very late. It's not Fergie time anymore. It's becoming Conte time because they are that team that is just scraping things right at the end. RJ, couple of words on Spurs, mate.
Mate, they just refuse to go down, don't they? They did it against Bournemouth with a huge come-from-behind victory.
Mm.
This one here, man, it was the old boys. They should have won that game. Easily should have won that game. Marseille, Kolasinac, your old boy, let us all down, let football down.
Mhm.
But what a finish. What a counter-attack. Højbjerg off the post, dramatic finish. And, yeah, Spurs finding that fighting spirit. So, look, I don't expect them to do too much in the next rounds, but they keep turning up when it matters.
Look at this from Anthony. We love Anthony from does Inter
Forza
Worldwide.
Inter. That's it.
Look, you know what, RJ, just speak a moment on Inter as well. I want to make Anthony a happy man.
Oh, for sure. Like when that draw came out, Bayern, powerhouse of Germany, Barcelona, leave Alona. Nobody gave us much chance to progress. I was skeptical. I know we have a good team. Simeone is a good manager. Lukaku returned, and obviously Barella, for me, is perennially underrated. But it wasn't the same team that I thought was going to have enough to get by. I honestly had my heart set on winning Europa, just based on the group setup. But we took it to Barcelona both games, should have won both games. No shame in losing to Bayern. We were competitive in both games. It's just a mark of respect now that we're carrying the Italian flag into the group stages. And look, you don't know who you're going to verse in this round of 16. They're definitely a team like Chelsea. I'm looking at versing teams to come between Dortmund, themselves, Leipzig. I tell you what, Inter's not a team I want to verse, even if I was a neutral, because they can beat pretty much anybody if they get all their cards right.
You know, everyone in the Champions League wants to draw Bruges next, surely.
Bruges were good, man. They were top of the group till this week, man.
I wouldn't mind Dortmund. I know that sounds crazy, but I wouldn't mind them. They're a team that's quite open and would be fun to play against. And obviously Leipzig with Timo Werner and Cuckoo, that's a nice subplot as well. So, yeah.
Going to be very interesting. And it did deliver. Champions League has delivered this season. And I can't wait to see what it's got in store. Boys, let's get straight to the Premier League. We'll chuck up, of course, some of the fixtures, have a chat about them, saving Arsenal, Chelsea till right at the death. Let's go with Leeds United hosting Bournemouth. Robbie, where are you at with this one, boss?
Who was it again? Bournemouth and who? I didn't hear the first part. Sorry, bro.
Leeds
and Bournemouth. Ooh. I'm going to go Bournemouth on this one. 2-1. They've been all right. I like what they've done against Spurs. They've been a lot better than I thought. I thought they were going to be definitely cellar dwellers, but yeah, they've been good. So I'll go 2-1 to Bournemouth.
Okay. All right. What about you, RJ?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm actually with Robbie. I was thinking maybe a draw, but no, I'm sticking with the 2-1 as well. Lock me in.
Look, for me, I'm going to go with 1-1 in this. I think both teams certainly capable of taking the points. So I'm going to share them in this match. Manchester City hosting Fulham. This one's caused quite the conundrum for my FPL team. Mitrovic, I've got Pereira in there. Haaland, who knows if he'll play. This one I'm not looking forward to from an FPL angle. But I do think, of course, that Manchester City will have too much. I'm going to go 3-1 Man City over Fulham. What about you, Rob?
I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think I guess right about this could be an underrated game if Fulham turn up, which I have been against the big teams this year. So 2-1 City. I don't think Haaland will play again. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to come back from behind today as well. They were 1-0 behind. Obviously had a bit of rotation, but I think they'll still get the job done.
Roscoe?
Yeah, I still think City will have enough, but I think it'll be a tough game. I don't think it'll be 4-0 like Marty's saying. Probably be 8-0 knowing now, but I reckon it'll be 3-1 City.
Okay. Before we move on to the next one, just want to acknowledge we got Borcher here in there saying everyone wants to draw Arsenal. We'll see. Top of the league, mate. So we're still up there. We've got my man G in here. He's doing some new content creation. Check him out on Twitter. His handle is his username there. Emad, don't know about this supporting two teams in Europe business. It's not a football thing for him. Not a football thing for Emad. Okay. Let's move on, though, boys. Let's move on.
Enough.
Nottingham Forest, Brentford. RJ, kick us off.
I think Brentford. It's at Forest home, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is at Forest.
It does make a difference, but unconfidently, I still think Brentford will do enough. I don't know, just gut feeling. They've burnt us before. We know how Brentford can play. Forest are very up and down. I'll lock in 2-1 to the Bees.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you and Shayna. I'm 2-1 to the Bees as well. Robbie, have we got a hat trick?
We have hat trick, 2-1 to the Bees.
I could see it in your eyes, man. I'm starting to read you well. You kick us off then, Robbie. Wolves hosting Brighton.
Oh, all right. Has to be Brighton, mate. Dizabi, he's finally got his win off the back of the Blues upset the other week. So I think there's actually going to be a 3-0. I like the way they play.
Okay, RJ.
Yeah, they're looking strong, but Wolves at home, a bit more resilient. They have found a little bit of backbone recently.
We've said that so many times this year. Wolves at home, Wolves at home. They're sitting where they are for a reason.
Yeah.
And didn't Costa get sent off the other day as well? So that doesn't help.
But he hasn't been the focal point of that team. It's not like you lose him, they've changed all of a sudden. He's there for the vibes, I reckon. But Brighton aren't there for vibes. They certainly are vibing under De Zerbi. Emotional game against Chelsea, no doubt. They were open, don't get me wrong. On another day, another team that actually knows how to score goals would do so. But I still think they'll do enough. Emad's on point here, I reckon, with the Trossard. I'm not sure if you get a double, but I reckon you put him down for a goal at least because I've got him in my field team. So let's lock in Brighton, and I'll go 2-1.
I'm going to go 3-0 to Brighton. They've really impressed me lately, and they've been working wonders for my FPL. Next up, a man that you love, RJ, so you can kick it off. Frankie Lampard's Everton hosting Brendan Rodgers' Leicester. What happens here and why?
I thought you were going to say Jurgen Klopp for a minute. No, just kidding. But definitely, look, it's at Goodison Park, isn't it? Against Leicester, you're saying?
It is.
Yeah. I'm really liking what Everton are doing defensively lately. Still struggling to find those goals. Like they have created a lot of half chances. Leicester have been pretty woeful, though they have improved, quote unquote. Tough one. I think at home, Everton will do enough. They'll do enough to get the job done. I reckon this will be a really good game for the neutral. I reckon it'll be 2-1 to the Toffees.
Okay, Shano's got the same scoreline, opposite teams. Robbie, what do you think?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1 in this one.
Well, that makes 3. You, me, and Marty Mariner agreeing 1-1. I can't split these two. We'll leave Chelsea Arsenal to the end, but it is your team up next, Robbie. So don't quickfire this one, mate. Just give us a little bit around your feelings ahead of the match against Aston Villa. It is at Villa Park, but let's see what happens. Talk to us.
Yes, Mr. Good evening. First game as Villa manager. I am a little bit nervous, only because it's unexpected. I don't know what to expect. I think he's had his first day of training the squad at Villa there today. So, look, I'm kind of half my head thinking, how much can you do in 3 days, of training on the field? They haven't been great. I think they had a good win 2 weeks ago, 4-0 against, I can't remember who it was, to be honest. But, look, and then they got beaten again by Newcastle 4-0 last week. So they're very up and down all over the place. The first thing when I think of Emery is just he's going to go in and try and lock up that defense as much as possible. Again, like we're starting to, unlock defenses slowly, but, we have got at the moment, like for tomorrow, we've got a few in doubt in attack, which hasn't been great. Anthony Martial's, he might be ready for the game. Sancho's ill. So we've got, Varane's obviously out as well. So there's a couple in doubt for this game. And again, at Villa Park, it's never easy. But I do think we could keep the good times rolling. I'm going to go for another 1-0. We've had quite a few of them this year. So I think 1-0, I'll take the points away from home would be great.
Does Harry Maguire get a start for you?
For me, no. I'd partner Lindelof with Martinez. I think that they've worked good when there hasn't been Varane. I'd play Harry Maguire tomorrow. And like I said, it just depends. You could play him back-to-back. I'd rest Martinez tomorrow in the Europa League and let Lindelof and Maguire and then swap it for the Premier League. But look, I know Ten Hag is going to go with whoever he thinks best and the strongest team. In my opinion, Lindelof is better than Maguire, but we'll see what Ten Hag thinks.
I think that's most people's opinion, Robbie. Maguire, I mean, might have had a good match, but geez, the bloke ain't ready. RJ, Robbie thinks United have enough. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I do too. I think you're probably being a little bit too complimentary to Villa, to be honest. That smacking against Newcastle was very telling. Yes, they had the 4-0 the game before that, so it's very up and down, but that was an outlier result amongst other performances. It's just United have been very, very strong lately. They haven't necessarily been getting the wins, but they've been getting some wins amongst very good performances overall, and I expect no different. I think they'll put Villa to the sword. It's just a matter of by how much. I think minimum 2 goals. It'll be the question whether or not he picks Ronaldo. Will he add to his solitary Premier League goal?
I think Ronaldo starts.
Wow,
I think Marshall
you
off
think,
the bench if he's
you think
fit.
he starts? Okay, well that's interesting because I still think he's got a lot to prove, but I don't know if he improves you or not. But he's got a lot of to prove himself. But I think
Is that
overall,
Marshall or Ronaldo?
no, I think Ronaldo. Like he still wants to be relevant. You know what I mean? Like for his own sake.
I think he's only starting because of our injuries at the moment. I told you if Anthony's Sancho's ready to go, Rashford's obviously
surely they're
definitely
ahead of him. Yeah.
and if Martial's ready to go, they'll all start in front of him. But at the moment, like I said, with 3 attackers that are possibly in doubt for the game, I think Ronaldo's start at this point.
Yeah, well, I think if Eriksen's there, I think he's going to be quite an important player for you guys to help unlock them. I reckon this will be 3-0 to United.
No Bruno this game either, which I think will actually be in a way.
Sorry?
No. Yeah. No, look, I think it's actually might work out not a bad suspension. Like it could be a really good balance for our midfield. I think Eriksen could possibly move up into the 10 and then we could have a pivot of Casemiro and Fred, Casemiro and Scott McTominay. So yeah, look, our defense I've really been happy with this year. So it's just the boys are going to put the ball in the back of the net. Look, it's just the only thing I'm worried about is the manager bounce. I mean, that sometimes always comes back and can be a banana skin every now and then.
All right, so you're on 1-0, Robbie. What are you on, RJ?
3-0 to the Red Devils.
You know what? I'm going to tip the new manager bounce. I think Villa might be able, only because of the injury doubts and all of that, I think they might be able to hold United to a 1-1 draw. So this is why I'm at the bottom of the tipping comp, put no money on it, but I'm going 1-1 in this one. I think it might be tight. Let's look at the next match. Southampton hosting Newcastle. Newcastle, for me, continue their rich run of form. They've got a sniff at the top 4 now. They're playing good. There's not many injuries. I don't see anything other than Newcastle winning this 2-0. Robbie?
Yeah, 3-1 Newcastle.
And RJ, you're the last man standing.
Yeah, it should be straightforward, shouldn't it? You're such a bloody up and down team, the Saints. But I don't know, man. I said 4-1 the other week against Villa. I should have said 4-0. I was so close. That'd be tough, man. I don't know. I reckon Saints will try to fight at the beginning, but will get undone. But I think, Newcastle, too much quality in the end, too much good form. Lock me in for a 3-1 to the 2.
Trippier's got to be unlocked for that England spot, right back, left back, whatever.
Mate, I'd be starting it.
For me, he starts at right back for the World Cup, man. He's got to.
Who would he get ahead of?
Trent.
Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker, Trent, obviously, no Reece
James is injured. Yeah, and Ben Chilwell also done his hamstring this morning as well.
I think possibly a hamstring he'll be up
for the World Cup. Yeah, I know. Just it's the Chelsea
6 to 8 weeks normally, so I can't see him making a squad.
All right, let's move on, boys. Did we all put our tip in for that? We did, right? West Ham hosting Palace, a London derby. Not if you're in Australia, though. There are no geographical differences. But we will call this a London derby. What's going to happen in this London derby, Robbie?
Well, look, West Ham. I think West Ham will do it. Are they at home, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think West Ham. Because, again, if you look at them where they are on the ladder, I don't think it really does tell the story. They have been playing good football. They've got a really good squad. They're doing really well in Europe as well. I think they'll get this one over the line. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Hammers.
All right. What about you, RJ?
2-1. Yeah, I can see that happening. But you know what? I actually back their defense a little bit here. I'll chuck 2-0 to the Hammers.
Again, it's been my scoreline this week. I'm going 1-1 here. I think Palace will put up a bit of a fight. Again, I'm last in the tipping comp, so don't take me seriously. Let's go to the second biggest match of this round. One that we should unpack a little bit more, boys. Tottenham hosting Liverpool. Now, Tottenham, again, they have the capability to play some really, really good football. They don't necessarily always do that, but what they are doing is winning. Okay, and when you're winning, that's all that matters. They're sitting third, 3 points behind City, 5 points behind Arsenal, and both of those teams do have a game in hand. But they're going to fight here against the Liverpool, who are not having a great old time sitting in ninth. I don't know who's going to win this. I know that Son is out. Yep, as Marty said. No Son, no Kulusevski, no Richarlison, and he'd be happy with a point. And I think that would be
huge losses there.
Massive losses.
I don't think Richarlison's a huge loss. He's hopeless. But the other two, yeah, certainly. RJ, do you think Klopp will get his team to lift against Spurs the way that he was able to get them to lift against City and Arsenal? Because they were the better team when they played us. I'll stand by that. Do you think Klopp will get something out of them?
I think he can, but they're such a confidence team, but they're just burnt out, man. I know a lot of the rhetoric will be, every team's got injuries, blah, blah, blah. But I was actually reading a very interesting thread the other day from the Premier League panel, and they're talking about for years, like the last 4 or 5 years, Liverpool have not significantly invested over and above just replacing a lot of their key players. Like they just keep getting these average ones. They don't fully replace and upgrade. And I think they're finally starting to, they've used all their luck now. It's all over. So, look, I think Liverpool will give them a tough game. They're still going to play on the front foot. They're still going to try to dominate. But I think that's actually going to play into Tottenham's hands. Conte will welcome the pressure and try to hit them on the break. So I think it's almost like a match made in heaven in that case, provided that the Tottenham defense stay compact and don't lose their heads and remain concentrated. I think they'll find plenty of opportunities to expose Liverpool, who will leave plenty of space in. And yes, no Kulusevski is huge. Yes, no Son. But I think they'll have enough to definitely at least get 1 point out of this. So as a result, I actually think it will be a point. I reckon this will be a 1-1 draw.
Okay, well, what are you thinking, Robbie? You're a big fan of Conte. We know that. Do you think that Tottenham come out into this match knowing that they're already a little bit blunt in attack and try and hold out for a draw? Or do you think they come out and they just try and attack?
Look, you already said I'm a big Conte fan. I do think those injuries are massive losses. I think even if they were just obviously Richarlison, Kula, they've been out for a few weeks, but Son in that team, I think he's nearly the biggest loss, to be honest. You pretty much got. I think Lucas Moura just came in possibly this morning, but he's still not on the same quality. Look, I think a point. I'd happily for both of these teams to get a point, to be honest. But I don't know. I just have unless Conte is literally going to park the bus and then just go for the point. I still think that Liverpool are going to get a dodgy call or something. I think Liverpool are going to win this one. I just think there's too much quality up front loss. I don't see them scoring the goal, Spurs, even though they're at home. I'm going to go for Liverpool 2-0. Begrudgingly, I don't want it to happen, obviously, but I just don't think that they're going to have enough Spurs for that. It's going to be very park the bus versus attack, and I just think that there will be a goal in this game, and if it's going to be anyone, it'll be Liverpool, unfortunately.
You know what? Son hasn't been the Son we had from last season, who was...
Yeah, but this is like Jesus. Don't say goals and assists and stuff, because he's still being pivotal to that.
Well, if I can finish my point. On that, Jesus has had a huge impact on what we've done in creating open play opportunities for others. I don't think Son has been as impactful this season as he has in previous. And I'm not just talking statistically. I think with some of the other players they've got in now, they're not as reliant on him. So this is not as big a loss for this match as it would have been last season. Harry Kane is the focal point of that attack. He's the man they're aiming for. He's still there. And he loves to get a really cheap, scrappy goal in these big matches. So I actually think Spurs will win. I'm going to go with Spurs to take this 2-1. But I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be very tight. But Son,
It's an
for
interesting point. Yeah, it's an interesting point on Son, because I agree with what you're saying. He hasn't been as influential this season because it's kind of hard to be as influential all the time up here because the standard is so high. But what I would say is that for a game of this profile, knowing where you're going to concede a lot of possession and the team is going to dominate you and leave so much space, missing the pace and profile and clinicality of people like a Son, Kulusevski as well, like what he did to Man City last season. He destroyed them.
A big miss.
Yeah, both of them. One is bad enough. To lose both of them, but you got to remember, Kane is not just a finisher. How many times have you seen him drop deep and play the most exquisite through ball? The question is, who's he going to be playing the through ball to without these two there?
Lucas Moura is the only one that's hit them.
It is. I'm thinking 1-1, but at the time I'm thinking now, geez, I wonder, are they even going to get themselves in a proper position to score? But I'll stick by the 1-1.
Okay, well, we're going to have to wait and see, boys. But the match that we are waiting for, the big one, the Premier London derby, Arsenal, Chelsea. Arsenal sitting top of the ladder, 31 points, 1 loss this season. Chelsea sitting 6th, 21 points, 3 losses this season. It's been turbulent at Chelsea, to say the least. It's been up and down. I think you would agree, Arja, that you haven't played fantastic football. You've had fantastic moments, and you are missing a couple of guys that really concern me in Chilwell and Reece James. Those two players, as an opposition fan, terrify me, particularly Reece James. I still don't think you've got it cooking up top. I did say from the start of the season, I feel this Chelsea team has a massive inability to score goals. And Aubameyang has come in, who I thought would do better. One thing I know is that he will be fired up for this. Even if he comes off the bench, it's in the script, isn't it? Him to come in and score against Arsenal at the Bridge. But the sad thing for you is, Arja, I still think we've got too much for you in all areas of the pitch. We're in better form. We clicked in last week. I do think we'll beat you, and I do think we'll take it 2-1. I just think you're going to struggle to keep up with our attack, because who's missing besides Chilwell and RJ?
Kante.
I'm right here, mate. No, Kante, of course. Wesley Fofana, the most expensive signing we've got. But those two, like you said, the wing backs, like we're playing 4 at the back, but obviously Reece James and Chilwell don't allow us now to not play 4 at the back. So, look, they're massive losses.
Today.
Yeah, we played 4 at the back. What I'm saying is obviously Reece James, when he was there, the wing back option he brings, and same with Ben Chilwell. But yeah, and what's he called? Dennis Zakaria, he played very well today. He's another option, at least in the middle, but he came off as well for slight pain. So I don't know, man. We're walking wounded in those key positions.
Well,
I agree with everything you say, mate. Like who? Kepa? He should be okay to play. Mendy was a bit rocks and diamonds this morning. Probably could have done better for that opening goal from Zagreb. He did some okay things. Wasn't super tested, to be honest. He made one good save from a header, from a corner. But that could be an area of concern as well, how we play out from the back, because obviously he's not glorious on the ball. But Arsenal's in red-hot form at the moment. I'm more than happy to concede that we're the underdogs here, no doubt about it. There's been a lot of mixed response to Graham Potter so far, although we've only lost 1 game in 10. I don't know, man. We're still finding ourselves. We're still finding what combinations work best. But with players like Mason Mount, Jorginho played really well with Zakaria this morning. Thiago Silva, as long as he doesn't have the same disaster class like he did against Brighton, for a 38-year-old, that can happen. But there's enough quality there for us. With Raheem Sterling, he got on the score sheet. Very tidy finisher. Aubameyang hit the crossbar. Kai Havertz slowly starting to find his feet again. If these players turn it on at the right time, they can do the Gunners. They can do them and get their own run underway. for us, there's more on the line in the sense of trying to make sure we keep in touch with top four. This match and Newcastle are humongous in the context of our season. Arsenal, they're sitting pretty at the top of the league, but let's be honest, nobody's expecting them to win anything. So the longer that they stay there is a bonus. So they're probably less pressure. And I think that can actually work against Arsenal because they're not, I don't think, going to be at 100% as a result. Perhaps being a bit delusional, but I'm hoping that I've got to write on a prayer. So I think as a result, I think we might steal this one 2-1 because it's at Stamford Bridge, but I say that not confidently.
Can I ask you, though, because when I think about the way we're going to play against you, I look at our pace and our energy, and then I look at your team, and I think one thing Chelsea seriously lack is pace.
In what positions would you
at
say?
the back, I don't think you're very quick at the back, particularly with a 38-year-old there. In the middle, Jorginho is not renowned for his pace. Mason Mount's not the fastest player in the world. I just think all over the pitch, speed is not something that this current Chelsea squad have a lot of. You've got plenty of things going for you, but I do think that our speed up the top, the intensity of guys like Martinelli and Jesus, I just think we might have too much of that for you and be able to get your defenders on skates. Who partners Thiago Silva for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I'm thinking it really depends on that formation, how much we respect the Arsenal attack. If we play 5 at the back, because the defensive options are now waning a little bit. Cucurella hasn't been in the best of form. Koulibaly's been up and down. He just come back from injury, played okay this morning. I think he'll start. I think Thiago Silva will start. I think Trevor Chalobah, you talk about pace. He's got pace. He's someone that can do a good job for us. I trust his speed. I think Mason Mount's got a very big engine on him. I think he does actually. I think he's a bit underrated because he's gotten a bit bigger. It just really depends who he picks in that midfield. Oh, I think he is quite quick. I just think because he does a lot of running, it doesn't get seen as that. Jorginho is definitely not known for his pace. I'll give you that. But Kovacic, he, to me, is serially underrated. I think if we can match up the midfield, Kovacic, Jorginho, and Mason Mount together, or Zakaria and one of the other two, then I reckon we have a good chance of winning the midfield battle, which stops you guys from trying to get your top boys involved. So, yeah, I think who partners Silva, like I said, Koulibaly and probably Chalobah. And to be honest with you, Cucurella was rested this morning, so he'll probably have to come in for Ben Chilwell, I'd say.
Well, I have no problems with Cucurella being in your team the way he's played.
He'll definitely get a goal and assist now.
Yeah, probably now. We'll come to you, Robbie, in a moment for your neutral thoughts. Declared asking, would I take a draw? I mean, I would, but I wouldn't be happy with it. I think we're more than capable of beating them. I haven't been impressed by Chelsea this season. I'm not going to lie. I've not been impressed. Potter's come in. I think Potter needs more time. I don't think he's made his mark yet. So with the injuries, with some of the players in that lineup and the way that we are playing, I would be disappointed with a draw.
Who scares you the most from Chelsea? Like who would you say is our danger man? Because for me, you guys, Jesus. Yeah.
I'm not scared of any of your players. I'm scared of Reece James. I know this is going to sound arrogant, but I'm genuinely not scared of any of your players. Reece James.
Clip this, Robbie. Clip this, mate. Come
brilliant player. No, I mean, you asked. I'm just being honest. At this moment in time, I'm not. Mason Mount last season, scared me. I don't think he's quite hit the consistency this season. I know he's a top player. But you know who scares me most? Aubameyang, if I had to pick someone. Only because of that script. Because I know that he's going to come out. Let's face it, he is getting to the back end of his career. He's getting passed around like a beer at a 16-year-old's party. But I'm not scared of the Chelsea team. Aubameyang will be up for it. I do think he'll score somewhere in there. It's in the script. So, yeah, I can't answer it properly. Robbie, am I being arrogant? Would you be scared of this current Chelsea team?
Oh, well, look, it's not for me to say. We played them a couple of weeks ago, and again, I thought, as RJ said, I think we were maybe edged out as the better team on the day. Look, the thing, I think the bridge is the thing that's kind of the balancer here for me because there's a lot in the chat. Chelsea.
I don't know
For me,
why.
I'm a little bit on the other side of the fence, and it's not a big side to be honest. I really am liking what Arsenal's doing at the moment. I think in all positions they're nearly firing, especially after I know it was against Forest, but they did kind of get it back into gear last week. Martinelli, I think, is a big danger. I really think he's had a great season.
He worries me.
Again, him, Odegaard on his day as well, mate. He's been chipping in. It's not just with again the goals and assists. He's creating well. Saliba has been really good at the back. There's a lot about Arsenal I really like, and again, we all know what Jesus is about. He hasn't been getting on the score sheet, but he has been linking up play. He's been holding up. He's been giving assists and stuff. I don't know. I've had a gut feeling like I'm really looking forward to this game as a neutral. Generally, I think it will be a good game. Again, I just think Chelsea maybe a little bit. Again, Potter's at the start of his tenure. He's had a good start, like I said, only with the one loss. But he likes to chop and change with his formation a bit. It'll be interesting to see if he marks them up in the 4-2-3-1, or if he does, like I said, a bit more respect and goes 5 at the back. Big injuries for Chelsea as well. Obviously, like I said, their wing backs, as I just said, Reece James, one of the best players between the both teams. I think is going to be missing.
Absolutely.
I think that Arsenal's going to have too much, and it's not being arrogant. It's just as my neutral gut feeling. I actually think they're going to do them 2-0.
2-0. I'm at 3-1. I've changed my mind. I'm going 3-1 to the Arsenal. And RJ, you were 2-0, you said?
2-1.
2-1 to Chelsea.
2-1.
I'm loving this. I'm lapping this up, mate. This is fantastic.
He'll love it.
Who gets man of the match, boys? Lexac saying Gabby Jesus. For me, I'm going to go with Gabby Martinelli. I think he's going to have a big match. Who do you think?
I hope this game just has an early goal because if it has an early goal, I really think there'll be fireworks. Because if Arsenal score first, because Chelsea at the bridge, mate, like in front of their fans, the way they've been a little bit not up to scratch. But again, what RJ was saying about the whole pressure thing with Arsenal being at top of the table, I actually think the opposite of what you were thinking, RJ. I actually think the pressure will be a little bit eased off, thinking, okay, we're quite a bit of points in front of Chelsea. We're in obviously top spot. We've got that little, even if it's half a buffer over City at the moment, why not let's go? Like we beat Tottenham this year, we beat Liverpool. I don't think they're going to go there and be scared of anyone. I don't think they're going to be just like, okay, we're going to beat you kind of thing. But I think Chelsea as well might have that little bit of pressure to say, hey, we need to get something out of this game to, like you said, to stay with that top 4 contingents kind of thing and not break away a little bit. So
I think more of the complacency. I definitely don't think Arsenal will be scared, but I think there's not as much riding on it for them. And I think sometimes maybe that can have that mental effect in terms of you're not at 100% because you've got the safety, you've got the cushion. For us, dropping those points to Brighton was huge. We played a lot better this morning. Yes, it's Zagreb. People will turn around. They're still a Champions League team. We've got to give them some respect, and they have gotten results against other big teams like West Ham last year. So, look, I think we looked a lot better. Our bench is better. I know we've got a few injuries, but Conor Gallagher, Armando Broja, Christian Pulisic, these 3 players are game changers in their own right. So I think...
agree with the bench. I just think
the game always gives us trouble.
He does.
Yeah, look, I think Chelsea bench. I think I agree is over the Arsenal one, but I just think on the 11, I think they're getting the job done.
And they've been better. To be fair, they have been better for a reason, and they can't just call it.
They've got a bad. They haven't got a bad record at the bridge either. The couple times they've got you home and away. So look, I just think I'm hoping for a good game.
That's it. Well, I think we're definitely going to get that regardless of result. And we'll be back here talking about it on Tuesday night. But we do have some quick fires to do. We've done all the round. Quick fire time. I've got some ready this week. So I'm going to go first. Boys, pick a current footballer that you would hate to get into a fist fight with. A current footballer you'd hate to get into a fist fight with. Could be a past footballer if you'd like.
I'm gonna go little Leacher now, Lisandro Martinez, mate. Him and my second came to thought was
Mason Mount would have smashed him, by the way.
Yeah, Kolasinac, mate. Mr. Kolasinac from today. I think he'd be a bit of a baller.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Oh, it has to be Ibrahimovic. As if you wouldn't even get anywhere near him. He'd turn around, roundhouse you, you'd be finished instantly.
I think Ibra's all talk, mate. I think he'd be
Oh
one of them.
yeah, sure.
Double black belt, like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's it.
For me, I don't know. This is a really tricky one, but I might have to go with who did you say, Rob? Who was your?
Kolasinac.
Yeah, Kolasinac, the tank, mate.
You wouldn't want to get into a fight with Adama Traore from looking at him either, I don't think.
Yeah, true.
Well, what's the guy's name? Goretzka from Bayern Munich. You seen him?
Yeah,
He's massive
Goretzka,
too.
yeah,
Forget him.
Yeah.
Finish you off.
There you go, boys. Look, that was one from me. Here's another one. Would you rather score an own goal in a cup final or get sent off for striking a fan? I'm thinking old Cantona here.
That's easy. I'd go the Cantona way easy.
Which is it like a league cup final? One that nobody cares about.
Champions League final, mate.
Let's go. Let's call the difference. FA Cup.
We'll go FA Cup.
Own goal. And that's what loses the game, presumably. You lose because of that own goal. Jeez. You know what, but it depends. If it was a strike in opposition fan, we don't condone violence here, Scott. Why are you asking such silly questions, mate?
I know, but
it's quickfire, mate. Just quickfire.
Yeah, but he's asking a trap question. That's cheating, Scott. You're trying to condone violence, mate. Look, mate. I'd go own goal because I wouldn't want that coming to me. I couldn't have it.
Me too. Own goal. All right, Robbie, you're up, mate.
All right. We'll start with an easy one, boys. Do you prefer beer or wine?
Wine.
Weather dependent. I'll go wine, but...
Yeah, I'll go wine as well. This one was a bit of a deep one. A famous person who passed away that really moved you.
Robin Williams for me.
Oh, you took my one.
Sorry, bro. I'll come up with another one then if you need it.
You took my one.
I'll give you some time if you want, Borgie.
Do you have yours, Robbie?
Yeah, Paul Walker for me, mate. The day he passed away,
good
shout. I was like literally just like I felt like I lost a brother or something. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, he was my one that got taken away. What about you, Borg?
Oh, Lexax got it. Yeah, Kobe.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Oh, that was I was really upset that day. Definitely Kobe.
Yeah, Warren is a big show. It was a big one as well.
Not sure.
Yeah, cool. And my last one, boys. This one I'm going to give credit to Bortre because this one's been on my mind for years and years.
Don't give him credit at all, mate.
I'll give him in the football capital some credit. Should UEFA Champions League teams that go come third drop down to Europa League, and the same thing, the team in the third in Europa League do the Conference League? For me, it's not a football thing. I don't understand why they do it. It's not fair. But what do you guys think?
No, I hate it.
I hate how they're kind of getting rewarded. Like, you've come third,
you're rewarding failure.
For the Europa League, even that, you're out. You made a competition. Yeah. You shouldn't get a second lucky dip chance.
100%. Not only do you get a second lucky dip, you can still win it. You can return to the Champions League from it, but it's just a different level. That's the whole point of a Champions League and a Europa League and now Conference League. 3 different levels. Obviously, that's your elite level. When you're out, you don't get to have a second.
You shouldn't have a fallback. There is no fallback. Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. I agree as well. No, that's it for me, boys.
My question, just one of them, it's football related. Which player from our teams, so I have to pick one from United and Arsenal, so which player from each team currently would you bring in now to your team to strengthen it? Just the one from each.
Yeah.
Thinking who you need, position, have a moment to think.
For me, from United, Christian Eriksen. I'd bring him in because I love some depth in the middle. From Chelsea, I don't think we need any of your players, to be honest.
Look at this. I was waiting for that. Good.
Love it.
I genuinely don't think I'd take any of them. Maybe if he was fit, I'd take Reece James. Does that count?
He'd never go there, mate.
Although he still wouldn't start over Ben White, so no.
That's it. I'm unsubscribing.
Take Sterling. There you go.
Very good.
Yeah, look, for me, I'm gonna put Reece James because I I think he's a great player. And from Arsenal, look, I'm gonna go two because there's two. Like Martinelli's one, the other. I actually really do like Odegaard as well. I think he's a good number 10 or number 8, whatever you want to call him. I think he really is. He's got a cool, calm head. He came through the Real Madrid system. He's still very young. I would like him partnering up between Eriksen or Bruno as well.
RJ?
Very good. I'd take Jesus from Arsenal, no doubt. Quality player, been really good. And from United, I would take Casemiro at the moment.
Yeah,
Good shout. All right. On that note, everyone, we have covered Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, the full round of Premier League fixtures, and we talked a little bit about the Champions League. We will be back on Tuesday night. One of us will be smiling. One of us won't be, RJ. I have a feeling someone's going to be upset. I don't know who it'll be. I'm hoping it's you.
Friendships might be broken over this game. Who knows?
May that nothing can come between friendships, quite like football. But until then, good night to all our friends in the chat. We will see you guys Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Look after yourselves.
Ciao.